Borat 2, or the subsequent movie film, we don't have time to fit in the other titles, is just as outlandish and cringy as you would expect, and of course, there are a number of unforgettable cameos. If you are a fan of the first movie and an Amazon Prime member, you've probably seen the sequel to the 2006 comedy, and you would unsurprisingly know that there are a ton of cringy and over-the-top gags, risky pranks, and surprisingly touching moments. In the movie, we see a number of people pop up to be interviewed by Borat or his daughter, or as he refers to, non-male son, and sometimes these people are in on the joke and sometimes they are not. In this video, we'll take a look at some of the cameos that appear in Borat and their relative importance, to A-listers making hilarious split-second appearances, social media influencers finding themselves in the line of fire, and of course, politicians finding themselves the victims of Cohen's pranks. Get ready to feel like it's 2006 all over again as we enter the very nice land of Kazakhstan and the US of A. And disclaimer, there will be Borat 2 spoilers. One of the highlights of Borat 2 is the character of Borat's daughter, Tutar, played by relative newcomer, Bulgarian actor Maria Bakalova. Bakalova has just a few credits to her name from her native Bulgaria, as well as an Italian TV show, but she was by no means afraid to step into the limelight in Borat 2 with some scene-stealing performances, such as the fertility dance and some hilarious pranks at the expense of some unwitting victims. But not only was she willing to go toe-to-toe with the film star Cohen, but she also had a somewhat sweet arc, starting off as a naive peasant girl locked in a cage to an empowered and independent reporter. This may have been Sagdiev's first mainstream venture, but it's unlikely to be her last. One of the most high-profile cameos was the appearance of Vice President Mike Pence, albeit against the politician's wishes. The initial plot of the movie is Borat is tasked to give the vice president a gift from the nation of Kazakhstan in the form of Johnny the Monkey until he's eaten by Tutar in order to restore Kazakhstan's standing in the world. In the movie, Pence is speaking at a conference when Cohen, in character as Borat, dresses up as President Donald Trump and breaks into the conference hall with Tutar over his shoulder and offers the vice president his daughter as a replacement for the late Johnny the Monkey. Unsurprisingly, Borat is removed from the venue, which leads him and Tutar to decide to bring their gift to Rudy Giuliani instead. And that's exactly what they do. Towards the end of the movie, a now independent Tutar arranges an interview with the former mayor of New York City in a hotel where the two discuss a number of topics and drink scotch.
I'll relax you, okay?
Borat later breaks into the interview disguised as an audio operator and tries to dissuade Giuliani from taking Tutar as a wife.
I would stick to marrying your cousins.
The infamous scene was leaked before the movie's release and quickly caused a stir online. Two of the most underrated heroes of the movie are Johnny the Monkey and another cameo appearance which we'll discuss later. Johnny the Monkey was, of course, as the name suggests, a monkey, as well as the fictional Minister of Culture for Kazakhstan and an adult movie star. He is originally intended to be the gift Borat presents to VP Mike Pence, until the simian star meets his untimely demise at the hands of a peckish Tutar. Johnny's screen time is all too fleeting, but for fans of the primate performer, he does have his own hilarious website that will keep his legacy intact. The second understated hero is the electronics salesman Brian, who patiently teaches Borat to use a cell phone, or calculator as Borat calls it, as well as teaches Borat how to navigate the internet, although he did not teach Borat how to watch a ScreenRant video, so he loses points for that. While a funny moment in its own right, he later has great importance on the plot, recording compromising footage of Kazakhstan's leader, which ultimately spares Borat's life. Another cameo in the movie is that of Texas-based Instagram influencer Maci Chanel, who is asked to teach Tutar how to entice an older man.
You want to be more submissive. Oh.
Chanel has 82,000 followers on Instagram and recently used the platform to state that she was unaware she was part of a prank or a victim of Borat, but as an actor, stayed in character throughout the scene. Another highlight of the movie was professional babysitter Janice Jones, who looks after Tutar and teaches her how to be empowered and independent. She shares a surprisingly touching bond with Tutar in some heartwarming scenes that are even more shocking than the outrageous pranks. Whether Jones was in on the joke is unclear, although we'd be surprised if she wasn't later informed that this was all the work of the comedic mastermind Sacha Baron Cohen. Another shockingly touching moment was in the scene where a depressed Borat visits a synagogue to end it all. The scene originally seemed destined to be one of the more distasteful scenes, but surprised everyone with Borat engaging with a truly lovely lady, Judith Dim Evans. Evans, a Holocaust survivor, embraces Borat and even kisses him on the cheek and teaches him to be more accepting and educates him on Jewish culture. Cohen was so touched by Evans that he actually broke character and explained that the scene was a satirical piece for the movie. Sadly though, Evans passed away earlier this year, and to honor her memory, the producers set up a website out of respect and even dedicated the movie to her. Jones and Evans may have some heartwarming moments, but some of the more cringy scenes was the Debutante Ball. Borat and Tutar approached debutante coach Dr. Gene Sheffield to advise how Tutar should behave at a ball they were attending.
How much you think my daughter is worth?
As reported by The Vulture, the ball itself was a staged event, with attendee Monroe County reporter-publisher Will Davis stating each member reportedly received $100 to attend, and those with the least amount of pop culture knowledge made to appear at the front of the audience. So while the event was fabricated by Cohen and the producers, those shocked reactions during the fertility dance were entirely genuine. Out of all the cameos, Alan Randy Knight's may be the least high profile, but it's worth mentioning just for his reaction alone. At one point in the movie, Borat poses as a barber in order to gain money to pay for Tutar's cosmetic surgery, and his methods are unsurprisingly rather zany. Knight is one of Borat's customers and is hilariously unfazed by Borat's antics and doesn't even bat an eye when Borat pulls out shears. There are no hidden digs or political agenda in this scene, and it's literally just a man having, I assume, the weirdest haircut of his life. But it is surprisingly wholesome, and the haircut is definitely better than the accidental mohawk I gave myself a few months ago. He is easily the hero we all need right now, but not necessarily the one we deserve, because he's not our hero. He's a silent barbershop customer, a watchful client. He is Alan Knight. Borat is by no means a traditional movie, but in terms of characters, Kazakhstan's leader Nazarbayev is arguably the main antagonist. Nazarbayev, played by Danny Popescu, is a fictionalized version of the former president of Kazakhstan, who was in power from 1991 to 2019. Nazarbayev is the one who tasks Borat with delivering a gift to Mike Pence to restore Kazakhstan's name, but we later learn that his true motive is to spread COVID-19 across the world through Borat, who they secretly injected with the virus. His plot is uncovered by Borat, with Brian secretly recording their exchange, which leads to Nazarbayev stepping down as leader and the reformation of Kazakhstan. Easily though, the biggest cameo of the movie is the inclusion of everyone's favorite grandfather, Tom Hanks. In a brief scene, it's revealed that it was Borat who actually infected Hanks and his wife with COVID when Borat meets the actor in Australia. It's also the scene where we learn that Borat is at fault, albeit unknowingly, for the pandemic and the reason that we've all been in quarantine, and why I haven't showered in 6 months. Okay, the shower thing might just be my own fault, but still. What do you make of these cameos? Have you seen the movie? Do you think that it lived up to the first one? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to ScreenRant to get more videos that are very nice.